I was nursing a mug of black coffee when the email arrived, the kind that scalds your throat if you pause even a second too long. Hey Dad, quick update on the wedding seating. We've arranged things so Mike will be up front with Mom. I know it might feel strange, but would you be okay sitting at another table? Another table. As if I were some auxiliary figure. Not missing, just unnecessary. I didn't respond right away. Just sat there, staring at the message while sunlight crept across the floor, slicing my kitchen in two. Like everything else lately. I scrolled up. Earlier emails blinked at me, the RSVP, venue details, the overly cheerful were so excited to celebrate with you that now felt hollow. Everything had already been finalized. I hadn't been invited, I'd been accommodated. Dealt with. Tidied up. I clicked, decline. Then I opened a new tab, searched flights, and booked one. Somewhere distant. Somewhere selfish. Somewhere I didn't have to wear a mask. 3 days passed before another message popped up. This one was from my ex-wife. No greeting, just a line dripping with bitterness. You always find a way to make everything about you. That's when I knew this wasn't just about chairs and place cards. Something deeper was wrong. At first, I brushed it off as another petty move. Her attempt to rewrite our story now that Mike was playing the role she always said I failed to fill. But it wasn't the words, it was her tone. Not defensive. Not smug. Fearful. My son, our son, never followed up. No explanation. No apology. Just silence. But I hadn't raised him that way. That silence made room for memories to creep in, subtle things I'd chosen to ignore. Like the first time I met Mike. My son shook his hand with the stiffness of a stranger. No warmth. And how quickly my ex changed the topic afterward. Or that Thanksgiving 3 years ago. My son showed up with a cheap bottle of wine. I asked why he hadn't brought the premium one I gifted him last Christmas. He smiled sheepishly and said, didn't want to waste something that nice. 2 weeks later, I saw that same bottle, half empty, on Mike's kitchen counter. Back then, I laughed it off. A fluke. Just one of those things. But coincidences don't pile up without a reason. Stack enough of them, and they form barriers. The DNA test arrived in a plain box, like all of them do, as if shame should come in discreet packaging. I kept it in my desk drawer for 2 days. Touched it, opened it, closed it, thought about throwing it in the fireplace. Then I swabbed. Last Father's Day, he'd given me a grooming kit. Inside was one of his old razors, used, still carrying fragments of him. I'd kept it without knowing why. Now I did. It took 2 weeks for the results. During that time, I pretended to live normally. I smiled at people, drank my coffee, read the news. But inside, I was numb. I ignored every call, especially theirs. I didn't want their stories. I wanted numbers. Truth stripped of narrative. In those days, I relived his milestones, his wobbly first steps, his graduation, the night he called drunk and confided, "You're the only one I can really talk to." A brutal thing to say to someone you're lying to. Then the results landed in my inbox. Paternity probability, 0%. 0. Not maybe. Not unlikely. Just 0. I didn't call. Didn't confront. Not yet. Instead, I printed the report, slid it into a manila envelope, and placed it inside a wedding gift box. No card. Just the truth. Mailed it express. 2 days later, my phone buzzed. His name flashed across the screen. I didn't answer. Then he texted. Then emailed. What is this? Is this a joke? I said nothing. That night, he knocked on my door. Eyes red, gripping the envelope like it radiated poison. I let him in. Asked if he wanted coffee. He shook his head. He placed the envelope on the table between us. Where did you get this? I didn't blink. Just looked at him. It's not true, he said, his voice brittle. You took the razor from the kit, I said softly. His mouth opened. No words. I always knew, I added. I just needed to know if you did. He slumped into a chair, not angry, just hollow, ashamed. I only found out last year, he whispered. But she knew, I said. He nodded slowly. Why didn't you tell me? His eyes welled up. Because I didn't want to lose you. That was the moment I understood. He still wanted me to be his father. Just not publicly. Not in the photos. Not when it counted. He wanted my love, not my presence. I walked over to my desk and picked up the RSVP card he'd mailed me. Handed it to him. You were right to seat me at another table, I said. But next time, don't send an invitation you don't mean. He opened his mouth, but I was already walking away. I didn't go to the wedding. Didn't watch the live stream. Didn't read the follow-up messages. I took the trip. Spent the money. Sat quietly on the edge of a cliff while waves shattered against rocks below. I left my phone in the hotel safe and didn't touch it once. They'd both told me they loved me. But love that conceals truth isn't love, it's control in disguise. When I got home, everything was just as I'd left it, only quieter. Lighter, somehow. As if a lie had finally vacated the space. I poured a drink, stared out the window. The sky was perfectly clear. I raised my glass to the silence and whispered, to the truth, even when it arrives too late.